Banks are increasingly focusing on volume reduction in the contact centers, not only as a way of lowering costs, but also really improving the customer experience. 50 to 70% of the volume that comes into a contact center can be what we call bad or avoidable volume. And what this really means is that it's either a service failure, so an upstream issue that's occurred that's then resulted in this call, or potentially maybe it's a repeat call. They called the contact center in the past and we failed to resolve the issue for them. Or these interactions can also be lower value add or lower complexity transactions that neither the company nor the customer really value, and that's the kind of volume that you want to shift to self-service over time. It's no small feat, though, to take out this volume, and banks have to work not only within the contact center, but also with areas of the organization outside the contact center to successfully take out the volume. And the companies that do this well, they do three things. The first is that they're realistic about the timing of volume reductions. Companies that have overly aggressive estimates of when volume will come out find themselves in situations where they're short-staffed. You start having poor service levels, higher wait times for customers, higher handle times, and then you also end up with higher employee attrition. And this gets you into this doom loop that's tricky to break out of. The second thing that companies do well is they build an ongoing demand management capability. And this is a group that really has their finger on the pulse of what's driving customer demand into the contact center. And so they really figure out not only the true reasons for why customers are calling, but also what they need to do to go about taking that volume out. And the third thing that companies that successfully drive out volume do really well is they engage the front line of the transformation. A number of companies assume that just because they've built the self-service capability, customers will then go and use that. But a lot of times customers aren't even aware that this exists. And so what you've got to do is really use your frontline staff. They're really well positioned to help drive adoption and help educate the customers on the existence of these self-service capabilities to help drive that volume out over time. And companies that do this really well, they're able to drive 20 to 40% in volume out of the contact center in a 2-year time frame.